And welcome to another edition of South Texas Crossfire. This is Attorney Joe Flores reminding you to join us each and every week right here on KTMB with the Lopez family. Special thanks to Don Humberto celebrating over 50 years of broadcasting. May he rest in peace. He is honored and venerated each and every show. With me right now is the broadcaster, and we're going to be talking about the political season that's heating up. Remember, South Texas politics, it's a full contact sport. So with that, I give you Carlos Lopez. Welcome, Carlos. How are you?
I didn't get the proper intro.
Oh, the Ted Turner of South Texas Broadcasting. How's that? It's good. Everybody knows, man. The Ted Turner of South Texas Broadcasting. Sorry. Well, anyway, so how's everything going with the political season?
You know, Joe, right now we're in a holding pattern in South Texas because we are waiting for the lines to be drawn. Maybe by the time this show airs, people will know exactly who's going to be running. It looks like at this point we're going to have two primaries, one for some of the local elections here, and then the other ones that will include federal races, that will include the U.S. congressional seat, and also the state races as well. But I tell you what, we're getting ready. Everybody's having meetings. There's so many planning meetings, but no one can execute anything because of the fact that they're waiting for the Supreme Court to finalize the boundaries.
Sounds like politics on LSD, Carlos. Black is white, one is 10. Earth 2, bizarro world on politics. So you have two elections. We've got elections that are heating up here. Congressional seats. We don't even know where the congressional lines are drawn. But the bottom line is people are advertising. People are coming out on my sister show, or brother show as it is, South Texas Politics, airing at 6 o'clock on Fridays. And we've got some good dignitaries, and we're going to have some other political guests come on, but I wanted to get a quick thumbnail sketch of what you've seen in the past and what is going to happen, or what you predict is going to happen with politics, and how KTMB, the role it's taking with politics right now. As we say, this is the only show with teeth. So we're going to talk about those hard-hitting issues. Now, right now, we've got some really critical races, and these people, how are they reacting? How are the voters going to react to all this?
Well, most of the time, Joe, by now, everybody's up and running. Everyone's up and running. We're talking about radio, TV, billboards, mail-outs, newspapers like El Defensor, and different things. Everybody's out and about already. The problem is the lines. The problem is what date they're going to pick. So everybody's doing maybe grassroots advertising at this point, getting ready for all their media buys. There's some folks like Theo Todd is at this point. He's advertising at my station in Victoria, and he has a campaign running saying on standby, which I love the philosophy, and he's just basically reminding people, getting ready.
Todd, love you, baby.
Isn't that amazing, Joe?
He's a smart guy. He's a smart guy.
He's covering that market because he might go into the Victoria market, and we have a radio station in that part. But everyone is mobilizing at this time. Everybody's planning. Everybody's getting ready to execute. Because if we do have two separate primaries, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the voter turnout comes out if there's actually a second one where the president's not involved in.
Yeah, and that would affect things because generally in a presidential primary, Democrats come out to vote a lot more than ordinarily. So that could suppress the vote.
Correct.
But a lot of this, the lines that had been drawn, they found unconstitutional, or they challenged because they were really favoring what? Republicans and conservatives.
Correct.
And it was a disproportionate. So that's what made a big deal.
And the Supreme Court said, well, wait a minute, the judges kind of went the other way. Maybe they went to the other extreme. So they got to find some sort of medium in order for them to figure out where everything's going to fall. And hopefully they can come to that determination here soon. And so we can get this ball rolling because it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a full contact sport. Joe, when you have the races that we are facing at this point here, you got the folks from the Valley. They're going to come in with a lot of money to try to win the congressional seat. We don't know what's going to happen if the other seat comes in from the south, from the north, representing Houston and the northern part of Corpus Christi. It's going to be very, very interesting. We've never had a congressional seat that is cut in two pieces, and we're about to see that, and that's going to be very interesting, and people that are big players that know how to play the game are going to come into this market, and they're going to try to woo the voters here, because they're going to play an integral part as to who's going to become our next congressional representative.
Well, and you know, it goes without saying that this station and the radio stations along with it, you get a full package.
Yes.
That when you're buying political time here on KTMV or on Magic 104.9 or 93.5 or KMIQ or any of your stations, you're getting a full impact. Tell the audience a little bit how media, if you're a candidate and say you don't have a lot of money, but you're willing to invest in TV and radio, how does that amplify a person's message?
Well, I'll answer it in this way, Joe. I'll answer it both ways. There's two types of candidates. There's the candidate that is established, the one that has a lot of money, that has perhaps consultants in Austin that are pulling their strings and telling them, you don't have to advertise in the only Hispanic-owned television station and radio station in the market. We are crunching the numbers. We're going to base it upon numbers. That's a number one big mistake. If you ignore KTMV TV, if you ignore Magic 104.9 and 93.5, your campaign will be doomed. Because we reach the majority of the Hispanic community here, and the portion that goes out and votes, Joe, is a small portion. And those folks are the ones that listen to Magic and listen to Comentarios, listen to La Voz with Abel Alonso, listen to the different shows that we have on radio and also on TV, like your show, Joe. It cannot be ignored anymore. And that's been one of the mistakes for a lot of folks who have lost a lot of elections, who have spent millions of dollars with other radio stations and TV stations, and for some reason or other has bypassed us. Then you have the other candidate who also does the same thing. And actually, there's three of them, Joe, that also is established, that has those consultants up there, but they know better, like a Teal Todd Hunter.
Oh, Todd spends money with you guys.
They're smart people,
No
Joe.
doubt.
They know. They listen to their consultant. They say, yes, we need to go into the general media, but we cannot ignore these guys. They're family owned. They know they're like an oak tree. Their roots are deep and rooted in this community. And papers like even El Defensor, those are local entities that are very important for people to make sure they get their advertisement out. And then you have the guy, the third person, who perhaps is a novice or perhaps doesn't have the resources, but we appreciate every dollar that comes into our station, Joe. It is truly a blessing to us, and we'll work hard for all the candidates. We're equal. You know, we can't pick or choose anybody, but we truly are grateful for the one that has a lot and the one that doesn't.
Well, and let me stop you there. Some of the innovations that no other stations have done, like Comentarios. You have people that can have a voice that don't originally that don't necessarily have a voice. You have these Hispanic ladies, politiqueras sometimes, or just people off the street that can literally come into a comentario, like some cafe or a store, or someone who wants to advertise their business, hosts it, and for about 15 minutes people come in and voice their opinion. Tell me how that impacts the voters.
I think in a huge way, Joe, because it gives you a platform of 15 minutes on a daily basis to expose your strengths to the community and to make a connection. Either you're going to make a connection or you're not. Or the person that you're getting to host your comentarios is going to be very important as well. It's a powerful medium, Joe. And at times we have comentarios that start at 11 o'clock and they don't end till 1 o'clock. That's how powerful that radio show is. And it's 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes of different candidates. And they tap into that because it's imperative that they do that, Joe, because otherwise you don't make that connection, and they utilize that in order for them to feel, to make that special connection with the voters, so they can encourage them to go out and vote for them.
Well, I mean, for far too long, I think the Hispanic vote has been taken for granted.
Yes.
I think the media, like El Defensor magazine and the blog, that has become very instrumental. I mean, strikes like thunder when you put something up on the internet and also comes out on TV, radio, and newspaper print. It's a very powerful medium.
Yes.
And along with your television station and radio, it's a sort of framework or glue that really reflects the Hispanic community.
What has changed, Joe? We've been on the air since 1989. What has changed is that Democrats really utilized our radio station for many years and really capitalized on the voting power of that group of people, and Republicans were not tapping into that market. What has evolved in this last election cycle And even prior to that, the Republicans have waken up. They woke up and they said, we can't ignore the Lopez family at KTMB and Magic anymore. We can't ignore that medium. It's too important. And they started tapping into it, Joe. They started putting money into it.
I remember that Blake Farenthold election. That was so close. What an upset with the Congressman Ortiz at the time. He invested heavily. I heard him on Comentarios.
That's right. He was on Comentarios, and look the result.
700 or 800 vote difference. Yeah. And because he reached out on Latino radio and television.
That's right.
And I think what happened, with all due respect for the congressman, he thought he could carry the election from the Valley. I did an interview with him and said, even if I lost Corpus, the Valley would carry me, and apparently it wasn't so.
Well, and Farenthold wanted to just let's just say that X amount of Hispanic folks that listened to him for 2 weeks in a row. You can imagine he had one of those shows, and he made a connection, and maybe he convinced
every day he
was every day. He was on every day. You have Todd Hunter, who was on every day, Connie Scott, that was on every day.
Tens of thousands of votes.
A lot of folks were there,
a lot of traction.
That's right, and it doesn't, no parece, Joe, but it does have an impact if they tap into that resource and get them to make a connection, specifically with the Republicans, because sometimes there's a disparity between what a Republican is and who a Democrat is and the values and what have you. But these folks that come on the air, they talk about religion, they talk about their what they want for their children, for their lives, and their pro-life. A lot of stuff that a lot of Hispanic people can make a connection with as well. Catholics, Hispanics as well. So they're doing their homework and getting it out, and that is amazing. I love that.
Well, I know you've got to run. In fact, you're going down to your station, the Christian station, La Tejanita, and that's KINE.
That's right.
And where is that located?
Here in Corpus Christi.
And that signal beams and your radio signals for people out there that campaign in Alice or Fanfurias or George West, that signal reaches 75, 80 mile radius?
At least, Joe, at least. So we want to say hello to them, and thank you for having me on your show today.
Oh, thank you for allowing us and giving us a voice. The Ted Turner of South Texas Broadcasting.
So I only have a few words to tell you, Joe, to wrap up this segment, but get ready to rumble.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be out there, and we don't pull any punches here. We're going to be talking to Homero Villarreal when we come back from El Defensor, talking about why it is so important to invest in Hispanic media that is controlling the markets now, that politicians, particularly the ultra-conservative or Republican or white, are waking up to, and the Hispanic candidates, unfortunately, are asleep at the wheel. We need to wake up and utilize these resources, television, radio, and internet, and print. So thank you very much. Carlos Lopez, the Ted Turner, South Texas Broadcasting. You make it happen, and thanks to you and your family.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you so much. We'll be back after this break. God bless.
I think it's a betrayal of public trust. That is just not ethical.
I left the Democratic Party because of her.
The reason is because you're taking Republican money.
The money of those people that pay me as a consultant. What are you taking? What did you take in Crosstown? Took money. I saw it, and I saw them pay you checks.
Okay, hold on. Everybody. Hola, soy Joe Flores, abogado, pidiéndole a la comunidad hispana que se formen parte del Partido Demócrata. Los demócratas son conocidos como el Partido de Derechos Civiles y Derechos para todos los hispanos. Grupos como LULAC y el GI Forum iniciaron en Corpus Christi. Republicanos quieren quitarle derechos a niños y mujeres y programas importantes. Involúcrese, regístrese para votar y recuerde que el Partido Demócrata no es el partido del pobre, es el partido de justicia social para todos.